Well, good evening, and thank you for tuning in to another week with Fathers Who Care. And as always, we want to thank you, the viewing audience, all of our young people, for all the good work that they be doing to come on out to master this game that we call television. They're in there producing the phone, text, and all that other good stuff. So it's always good to be a beacon of light to these young folks and give them an opportunity to do the things that we think are important for them. You know, young folks love that social media thing. So let's do some things with these young folks and try to give them some nice little stipends to continue to do the work that they're doing. But listen, as always, you know, it is our pleasure here at Fathers Who Care to come to you each week with individuals that we believe that you should know who are actually making a difference in the community. We got a surprise guest this evening, and our surprise guest will be coming in shortly. But then in the meantime, I'm going to introduce to some and present to others because I think you already know her. And if you don't know her, shame on you, because she was co-hosting this show before with one of our fellow clergymen and laymen in the gospel, none other than Pastor Ari Ackery. And so y'all should know Doris from being the co-host on that show. Then some of you should know Doris from her own weekly television show, the Doris Davenport show, which I was on the show and I enjoyed myself. And I look forward to coming back and hanging out with you because we made some promises that we was going to keep in touch. And here we are.
And here we are.
Doing it. But you know, we came together tonight because we wanted to talk about some serious things in the neighborhood. But the title of this show tonight is Being Civically Engaged. So we want you, just like we got our young people, we want you, those who are watching today, to be civically engaged. So you should say to me, what does that mean? And I would say, thank you for inquiring. And then we'll pose that question to our guest, Doris. And then we're going to have some serious conversation. But as you know, this is Fathers Who Care. And at Fathers Who Care, what we're trying to do here is rather simple. We're trying to change the status of what's going on in our neighborhood. We're trying to empower folks in our neighborhood. We want to make sure that young people in our neighborhood are providing options, they have opportunities, and really we want to bring people together. We want to go back, not necessarily back into the days back then, but we want to go back into the days where we really loved each other, supported each other, cared for each other, and did what we could to help to empower each other. So this show is strictly, as always, about enlightenment and about engagement. So what I'm going to do, first of all, is I want to share something with you. I got a nice little picture here I want to share with you. And this picture is an overhead that we got here about Doris. These are some folks that we've been working with on a coalition we just founded.
That's impressive.
The coalition is called Counting on Chicago Coalition. And it's about the 2020 census, right? And so what we have so many people who are trying to make a difference in the neighborhood. And it's kind of fortunate now because we've been working on this initiative since November, actually. And so we've been out here laboring to try to bring young folks into the fold and bring resources back to the neighborhood. So you got rehabilitative systems, you got, I can't read it all, family guidance, NAACP, People's Community, who is this here? Mount Sinai Community Initiative, Beyond and Above, I don't want to call their names because I want to be right. Alternative Schools, then you got Austin People Action, and you got PLCCA, you got Haymarket, you got Communities United, of course, Fathers Who Care, that's us. And then you got Garfield Park, and you got Loretta Hospital, Westside Health Authority, and then you got Felix, and you got St. Agatha's, and you have Austin's Child Care. So it's a whole lot of folks doing their thing in the neighborhood trying to make a difference. And so we're going to encourage you, those who are watching, that if you really want to be a part of some social change, really some social change and community empowerment, while being civically minded and engaged, we encourage you to give us a call at Fathers Who Care at 773-287-5821. Or you can log on to fatherswhocare.org, email us, Twitter us, Instagram us. We in there now. Facebook us. And so I want to do one more thing. I want to show you this list again, and then I'm going to see if I can get a surprise guest in here, because I just feel a surprise coming on right now. So what I want to do is I want to bring in a surprise guest, and then we're going to have some fun here. And we're going to have a little fun, and we're going to do our thing, sir.
Hey, what's going on?
Don't you do it.
Good to
Not
see
on my
you.
watch.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, sir. So
I'm
let's
honored
do it.
to be here.
Listen, it looked like, come on over some closer. So we got it all in here, it looked like, all right? So I guess this is going to be the show where we're going to do it. You might want to close that one. Yeah, so this is going to be the show. There you go. You're good. So we got, there it is. So we have our surprise guest. We have our other guest who was taking who is filtering for our surprise guest. So this is what we're going to do. Let's cut through the chase because time is of the essence. And so, Richard,
Yes.
you know, a lot of folks know you by a lot of names, but I know you as Richard, so let me have the liberty tonight.
Yes.
All right? We're definitely brothers, you know, in the struggle, and we're definitely agents for social change. But, Richard, I want to really talk seriously about you. I know you got a lot of stuff going on. I keep on seeing you everywhere, all right? And I'm glad to see you, obviously. But, Richard, look, the audience want to know. First, they want to know, who is Richard? And what is Richard's purpose for existing? And then after you tell us about that, Richard, we want to come to you and talk to you about, we heard that you're a candidate.
That's correct.
That's what we heard.
Yes.
Now, we want some confirmation today.
Yes.
We want to know if you're a candidate for the clerk of the circuit court. We want to know that after you tell us who is Richard.
Well, I'm Richard Boykin, and I was born in Mississippi and raised in Inglewood, and I'm a proud graduate of Chicago Vocational High School. Graduated from Central State University in Ohio, and from the University of Dayton School of Law in 1994. I've been a practicing lawyer since 1994. I worked for 3 members of Congress, 3 of the most progressive members of Congress in the United States, Senator Carol Moseley Braun, Congressman Bobby Rush, and Congressman Danny Davis. 2006, I joined a big law firm, Barnes & Thornburg, where I became a partner. And 2014 was a county commissioner from 2014 to 2018. I'm a servant of the Lord. I'm a servant for change. I have public service in my heart. And I love what you're doing, Reverend Walter Jones. I think that your platform, you've been an agent of change for a while, and I've been proud to collaborate with you in terms of making that change, positive change for young people.
Well, and what we want to do, and thank you for that, but you know it's from the heart. And that you are right there. Let me share this picture. Remember this? Remember this picture here?
I do remember that. I do.
Remember that picture right there?
I do remember that. Yes.
That was us and the crew.
Yes.
Remember?
We're going to be together again real
that
soon.
was us and the crew right there when we was all out in the community doing work together. So it's still the same. We're still doing the same thing. I got a little more gray a little, but that's okay. I like the gray. It distinguished me. But anyway, but it's
You still got your hair.
Yes, I do.
And that's important.
That's right.
Because a lot of people are losing hair.
And I'm not cutting it yet either. I'm not looking for the bald look, all right? But Richard, let me ask this question seriously, though. I've been listening. I've been watching.
Right.
And folks, and I've been hearing that you're interested in becoming a candidate for the clerk of the circuit court. Let's cut through the chase. Is it true?
It's true. We're in the race. We are on the ballot. We submitted more petition signatures than anybody else, more than almost 26,000 signatures.
So so it's true.
It's true. We're on the ballot.
You're running.
We're running.
Why?
Because the people deserve access to justice.
Okay.
And the clerk's office is the front door to our justice system.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to make sure that that front door is wide open and welcoming for all of our citizens, especially for our young people. So many of them, African American males, will come through the court system at one point in their life, and they got to be assured that they have someone in the clerk's office who is fair, who is considerate and kind towards them, and who understands their struggle. The only person in this race who identifies with them is me.
Well,
and I'll tell you why.
Go ahead, tell us why.
I grew up in Inglewood. We were on food stamps for a short period of time. And, you know, because of the promise of education, I became a lawyer. I may have went away to school, but I've never left the community. I've always been a part of the community, doing work in the community, trying to better lives in the community. And so I'm going to fight for them like I fought for them on the county board. You know, when I stood up for them and got rid of that sugar tax, that god-awful tax that hurt so many of our people and caused them to have to go to DuPage County or Indiana just to get their sweetened beverages.
So tell me, though, what are the duties of the clerk of the circuit court?
So most people see the clerk's role as being the glorified keeper of the record of the court, but it's more than that. The clerk's office has the ability to determine whether or not you win a case or lose a case, whether or not you keep your freedom or lose your freedom in a real way. If those records aren't maintained or kept, can you imagine the person who's in the county jail and who wants to bond out and you can't find their record or their file? That means they have to stay in jail until you find that file. Can you imagine the person who is trying to appeal a case and, the clerk's role and responsibility is to make sure that we get that case filed to the appellate court? What if they can't find it? Or what if it's missing papers?
So you're implying that this clerk's office is the keeper of records?
I'm implying it's the keeper of records, but it's also the voice for justice.
Voice for justice.
Yes.
Okay, well, let's go here. So tell us. Let's cut through the chase. You just declared, right?
We declared back in August, I think.
So what you want the people to know?
Well,
What you want the people to do?
I want the people.
Here you got a chance to talk to the people.
I want the people to go out and vote for Richard Boykin. I want them to vote their interests. I want them to know that I'm the only person in this race who is from the community, of the community, and by the community.
Are you accessible?
100% accessible. People know that. They know that about me. When I served as a county commissioner, I held more town hall meetings than anybody else, and I did some of them with you.
I know. Listen, unapologetic, my friend. Not only that, you were adamant about making sure folks were insured, that folks are not burying folks without insurances, and if they did, you was making sure folks was able to help them. You was out there, you had a 7-point plan for violence. You was out there doing stuff for parents involvement, community organizing. I mean, I was out there with you. I do know. And we always had an opportunity, as you saw that picture there. Let me show it again. let me show this picture one more time. Hey, let's do this. Is this the picture? Yeah, this is it. That picture there was when you and I was out there in the community with the young people, and you was marching with us.
Yes.
And we was marching with the young folks who were civically engaged.
Yes.
So let's talk about that right now, if you don't mind. How can we get folks in the community, I think you alluded to that just a minute ago, to be more actively involved in what's happening in their communities, and not just complaining, but also becoming actively involved in voting? I think it's important that people understand the right to vote, and what happened to so many people for that right to vote, and don't take it lightly. Now, I don't care nothing about whatever happened to Trump or whatever on that national level. I'm not up there. I'm down here, all right? I think we got enough folks up there like the member to take care of that. But I'm going to vote my conscience on this level, all right? And on this level, I want to make sure that these young folks have options and they have an opportunity. So tell us, what can we do to keep these folks, keep their mindset on voting and making sure that they engage in what's happening in their neighborhood? How about join a block club? Be a block club member.
I think that what they have to understand is that there's a nexus between voting, representation, and resources. And basically, I mean, if you don't vote, then you're going to get whatever you get. But if you vote and you get somebody in who's like-minded,
get what you get.
right? That's Richard Boykin. By the way, quote me on that.
You know I'm going to get that one.
I'm writing it down.
I'm going to get that one. Yeah.
Don't infringe on me now.
Hey, I'm telling you up front I'm going to do it, all right?
I'll let you do it. But no, the real deal is that, voting determines representation. I mean, when you look at our communities, and some of our communities look like war zones, and, there have been people in those seats who look like us for a long time, but they don't necessarily represent us.
Let's get the phone lines going. And listen, the line is open, 312-738-1060. We have with us tonight Richard Boykin. We have Doris with us, 312-738-1060. We're talking about different things tonight. We're talking about being civically minded, being actually engaged, and we're talking about the seat the clerk, being a candidate for the clerk of the circuit court. And so let's have some conversation. What can we do to help to empower each other? Why do we need to empower each other? I think we can empower each other if we work together. So getting back to you, sir, you can go ahead and finish your conversation, and we'll
It's
just
basically
move forward.
that, look, as a citizen of America, the only time that we're really equal with the Donald Trumps of the world, the guy who has $1 billion, is on election day. His vote is the same as yours.
Absolutely.
It's a one vote,
Absolutely.
one person.
Absolutely.
And that's why we got to get out and vote.
Can you say that again, please? Because I really like that. I mean, even though it's national, our vote locally can make a difference nationally.
It can make a
And people need
difference.
to understand that.
It can make a difference. Let me tell you, when I ran for re-election, and it pains me till this very day, I lost for about 342 votes. And voter turnout was 16%. 16% of the 100% eligible voters came out.
16%.
16%. And for the first time, we had the suburbs outvote the city. In the city part of the district, 60-some% of the district, and the suburbs, about 38% of the district. But the suburban community outvoted the city.
First time.
Yeah.
Because that don't happen.
No. And so the elections have consequences, and they're vitally important because, again, either you're going to get someone who is going to stand up for you, stand up for the community, or you're going to get someone who's going to be told what to do, and they're going to get in line and do it.
So how about this? If you don't vote, then you get what you've been getting.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do this then. Let's open up the line. Again, the phone line is open. Let's talk about it. Got some questions for Richard Boykin. Come on, give him a call. Let's talk to him. Let's talk to him about why he want to be the clerk. Let's talk to him about what he see the state of the county of Cook County is. Let's think about the state of the West Side. But let's talk seriously. Let's go here. There's this initiative going around that I've been kind of working with some folks on, particularly with HSI, and we formed a coalition, a Counting on Chicago coalition,
Yes.
for this 2020 census.
Yes.
And so I think we're rather fortunate in that there have been some resources that have been brought to the West Side and the South Side. So we collectively brought them, both of them together.
Good.
We're not divided. The West Side and the South Side are working together. Yes, I said it. We're doing it. We're working together in a coalition. So what I want to ask you, Richard, is it important for people to be involved in the census? And if it is, it's important for them to be involved in the census. Why? Not only to mention there's some opportunities for folks to get paid. If you want to work, call me.
Look, it's vitally important. The census is vitally important. Every 10 years we do this exercise, but it determines our representation in the House of Representatives. It determines our federal resources that are going to flow to the counties and to the local communities. And so if you don't, if you're not counted, then you lose resources.
I
Or
thought
then
you
you
was going
don't
to hit
count.
me with what the member said.
Oh, what did he say?
If you're not being counted, then you don't count.
Oh,
We got a caller. Caller, you on the air. Thank you for calling. We have Richard Boykin, former commissioner of the 1st District, and we have Doris here who's stepping in to help
Doris
us out.
Davenport.
Miss Doris Davenport, if you know her, from the Doris Davenport show. I mean, she's good people. She really actually is good people. Caller, you on the air. You're coming to question.
I have a question, also a comment.
Come on with it.
Yes, sir. I was wondering what you were just saying, I believe is true, especially with the census. If you're not making yourself known, it takes away from everybody else. But it always seems that there's always been a problem counting the census.
Okay, that was your statement or your question?
Well, the question that I like to know is that I am from Chicago. I am up on the southwest side, okay, and I am very. I know a lot of black gentlemen that I work with are very good people. It doesn't seem like they get a fair shake. I was wondering if there's any way that we can work at it, or more people like yourself or me can help out and make sure that the discussion is being known worldwide.
Yes, okay. Thank you so much for that call. You want to respond to that? I mean, we talked about the coalition.
Look,
So
I think
yeah.
you've been a bridge builder in terms
Yeah.
of bringing people together. But I think it's vitally important to make sure that African Americans, Latinos, all of us, make sure that we get counted.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that we fill out those forms when they come in the mail. And if we don't fill them out and somebody comes and knocks on your door, don't be afraid to fill them out because, one, they can't come after you if you're here.
And actually, you don't have to fill them out. They're going to fill them out.
Right.
You know, all you have to do is answer the questions.
That's
all right?
it. That's
You know,
it.
so you don't have to be afraid about paperwork and all that stuff. They're going to have IDs. They're going to be legit. All right? We're going to do filler work before they come to you. So we're going to prepare the whole road for that before it even happens. So all you really have to do is just don't be afraid to talk to someone and let someone know how many people in your family, how many people are in your house. The hardest to count are 0 to 4 because people ain't talking about them and the seniors. Everyone counts.
Everyone.
So if you're looking for additional information, give Fathers Who Care a call at 773-287-5821, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all of that stuff. The young people know how to handle that. I just do it. We got another caller. Thank you so much. Caller, you on the air. Thank you for calling. We have candidate for the clerk of the circuit court, Richard Boykin here, and we have Miss Davenport, Doris Davenport. DD and the DD show. So we have the radio show going on right now, and we have Richard Boykin who stopped by on his busy schedule to help us out to talk about the importance of the census and to also talk about the importance that you vote and that you vote your consciousness and that you vote for someone who has your back. All right, someone who's transparent, someone who loves the community, someone who's committed to the community, and someone who want to make a difference in the lives of our young people. I'm just sold out to the fact that I'm committed to the young people, to our people, to the community, and I want the folks to know that everybody ain't turned their back on you. All right, everybody has not done that because you're looking at 3 of us right here who haven't turned their back. Come on, caller.
Okay, this is Miss Griffin.
Miss Griffin, how are you doing? This is
I want to say kudos to this young man because he was at my cousin's funeral, Richard Barnett's funeral. I told all of my cousins to make sure you contact you to see how they can assist you because that was what Richard would really want because now it's time to do something about a situation instead of complaining. Because you have the leadership role, and to God be the glory for you, and you're going to make it.
Well, you know, I thank you so much for calling. Go and give us a question right now. Go and ask a question of Mr.
No,
Boykin here.
can I say this?
By all means.
I want to thank you.
That's my girl there.
I want to thank you for calling. I want to thank you for participating and being so informed. Richard Barnett was a superstar.
Yes.
I mean,
He's a legend. He's a legend.
He helped me get elected back in 2014. I've always run up the rough side of the mountain. I've never been endorsed by the party. I've been endorsed by the people. I've been endorsed by God. And
Amen.
that is what matters. But Richard Barnett, God bless his soul,
Yes.
was a good man.
Rest in power, brother.
And
Well, he was my-
we got to, she's right.
My
We can't
grandmother
sleep
was
on this.
his father's sister, and we means business. So continue on, and God bless you all.
So let me tell you this though. I think if you always calling and you're always involved. Give us a call, please. You know I love you. Give us a call at Fathers Who Care at 773-287-5821. You know I be needing to talk to you. And we got another caller. Come on,
All
caller.
right, thank you much.
Thank you, dear. We love you. Keep watching. And do you have a website or something that they can log on?
We do.
Give us a website.
So the website is www.richardrboykin.com.
One more time.
www.richardrboykin.com.
Now, how about a phone number if they want to be involved and they want to donate or they want to come out and volunteer?
The best thing to do is to log on to the website because on that website there's an opportunity for you to put your information in there, and we'd rather do that than to take up the intake time on the
That's
phone
cool.
for volunteering.
So
and
the website
donation.
again?
www.richardrboykin.com.
We got a caller. Caller, come on with it. Hello?
And yes, my question is to Boykin, and my question is, if you're running for office for the circuit clerk, what will you bring to the table for that position? And if you're running for this position, how do someone that want to support you, how do they support you and what do they do? How do they go about it?
Well, thank you, because thank you for tuning in, because I guess they just want to hear what you said before, because see, more folks are listening now. And so, go ahead, sir.
I'm glad you called in.
They say they want to support you. What you want?
Look,
That's what you want, ain't it?
I bring to the position a wealth of experience. I'm a lawyer. I've been a licensed lawyer since 1994. I bring the kind of compassion that's needed for this position. I bring the kind of integrity, accountability. We're going to make sure that we motivate that workforce and breathe new life into that office. We're going to take it to the next level. We're going to build upon the work that Clerk Dorothy Brown has done. And
I think
we're
she's
going to
done some good
expand.
work.
Yes.
I think so too. And we're
All
going
right,
to
be honest with you.
Absolutely.
yeah, we're going to
Right.
expand services. There are a whole host of initiatives that we'll be unveiling in the coming weeks. But I ask you to go to my website and sign up to volunteer on this campaign. Join this army, because we're going to win this race, and we're going to win it with people like you. richardrboykin.com. And everybody's got to get out and vote. Please tell your neighbors, your friends, your family that it's important. You can phone bank, you can help us that way. We're fundraising, we're canvassing, we're knocking on doors. This is the campaign to get involved with. I had my first opportunity.
Is that civic engagement?
That's civic engagement. I had my first opportunity to do this back in 1983 when I canvassed, it was 82 really, with the late Mayor Harold Washington. I had a chance to hear him speak, and I was just so just inspired. And so I joined up with him and actually did some knocking on doors and stuff like that. And I was glad I did it, because we made history with Harold Washington, and you can make history with Richard Boykin in March 17th, because I'll become the first African-American male clerk of the Circuit Court of Cook County.
Now, I also want to echo this thought, because Fathers Who Care. We also are working with the West Garfield Park Youth Council, and this youth council are young people that we're making sure go to college, young people that are being empowered, engaged, and enlightened, and young people who are looking out for young people, youth leadership, youth development, and we're proud when our young people step away from us and go off to college, and then come back in professional fields. So anyway, we want to also say that. Richard, that you've really been real supportive of young people in the community. You've been real supportive of reducing substance abuse, senseless violence in the neighborhood. I mean, you literally take it personal. It wasn't just a talk. You really took it personal. And you always availed yourself. That when we needed you to come out and rally with us and pray vigils with us, you was always there. Those are the things that mean a lot in my people, in my community. With my folks, because they want to actually see their elected officials. They want to be able to touch their elected officials and talk. And you was always actively involved with being at folks' funerals, providing support for folks. I mean, we dealt with a lot of situations where folks were unfortunately making transition and couldn't bury the folks.
Yep, we helped.
And then we had situations where folks were violently were being transitioned because of some serious violence. But anyway, let's get the next call. I'm getting emotional here. What can I say? I love the Lord.
Hello?
Caller, you on the air.
Yeah, my name is Jerry. I got a question. I really appreciate his platform. We're going to volunteer, but I'm just scared. This lady, Tony Preckwinkle, this lady is corrupt, but she has a lot of money, and she has a lot of influence. What's your strategy, man, to be able to beat this witch? Come on.
Well, let's do this here for the purpose of the show, and I don't mean no harm, sir.
Okay.
But I think everybody entitled to their own, but this ain't this show.
Yeah, no.
All right. This show, we want to talk about working together. I mean, whatever is going on with somebody else and somebody else, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not in or out of it. That's their business. Talk to
She is out to get him, though. She is out to get him, and we got to win because it's for our community.
Okay, well, let's do this, though. For the purpose of loving on each other tonight, let's focus on us and what you can do.
You're not going to let me talk.
Sure, go ahead.
I thought you were going to let me say something about my man, Richard Boykin.
Go ahead.
He fights for the people. He got rid of that pop tax. that woman is going to try to throw everything but the kitchen sink. Y'all better be ready. That's all I got to say.
Well, don't hang up yet.
Well, let me
Don't hang
just
up yet.
let me chip in here for one moment,
Sure.
sir, because when you say y'all better be ready, the real thing is we better be ready. We've got to do this together. The campaign is going to do everything the campaign can do, but we can't do it without you. And when I hear people call in like you just called in, really supportive,
And passionate.
really understanding the
Yeah.
good work that this man has done, we need people like you to make sure that you're out there tapping everybody you know on the shoulder. Everybody.
And,
what I'm
listen,
talking about.
let Richard comment on the
Yeah.
call-in relationship. He made a statement. His statement was he would like to get involved. I mean, we're gonna take that tone of the conversation. We're not gonna use this show to slam you
Or
or
anybody
anyone.
else.
Not on this show. But we're gonna use this show to respond to him if he wants to get involved in your campaign.
Well, look, I thank the caller for calling in, and look, anybody is willing. Please, we want everybody's help.
Well, you heard him.
I think that this is an important race. It's an important race for our future, and most of our folks go through the court system, and we got to make sure that we have someone there who's going to look out for our folks.
Look, give him. I heard him. He said he wants to be involved. He wanted to volunteer. He said that. So I heard something about if they would visit www.richard.com.
Richard R. Boykin.
Yeah.
Say that again.
www.richardrboykin.com.
You say it so nicely. you can find your place in your campaign. Is that correct?
That's correct.
But what we want to do tonight, and thank you for the caller. Come on, caller. We got another caller.
He was great.
Okay, let's get this last caller. And Richard got to go to another meeting, so we got to let him go. Just last caller. That's it. The last caller, and and then we're gonna let Doris take care of the rest
Yeah,
because he
Doris,
really
yeah.
do have to go. Go ahead, caller. Hurry up, please.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Good evening.
I think that we, as a people of Chicago, were taking away from when Harold Washington was mayor. I think he was taken too quickly. What do you think about the mayor now with the different person that she is, being LGBT and a woman? Do you think she is good for Chicago?
Well, you can roll it into Doris because we know you have to run, and
Thank you
I
so
want
much.
to respect your time.
Thank you.
So please,
Thank you very
can
much.
she answer
Yes,
that for you? Please?
Doris can answer.
So what we're
I
gonna do
support
now?
the mayor.
We're just gonna take
I support the mayor.
one little break right now, and we just want to go ahead and transition over. Doris, we're going to get you. Richard Boykin say please log on to www.richardrboykin.com and here answer all questions. But we want to respond to the caller's question. Doris, thank you so much for stepping up. Mr. Boykin literally had to leave.
Yes, he did.
He was running from one place to another, and we have been kind of working together to see if we can get him to stop in.
Yeah, he
before
wanted
he
to make
went.
sure he came. He said, "This is Reverend Jones. I came as
Yeah,
Reverend
and I
Jones."
appreciate that because, everybody won't do that, and I just
Yeah.
wanted him to come, and I wanted him to clear the air.
Yeah.
And let people know what his intentions are and why, he's doing what he's doing. I think people is entitled to run if they choose to run. I think people should be qualified to run. I think people should have a passion for the people, all the people, the Latino, the minorities, all of them. I think everybody should be represented when it comes to the clerk of the circuit court. And I believe that I just believe Richard Boykin would bring the same integrity, bring good integrity to the position. But go ahead, let's see, can we respond to the question?
What was I couldn't
Can you
hear
call
him.
it? Tell us again, caller.
I think he said something about the mayor and working together with the mayor. What I
The
can.
phone lines is open. Sir, would you call us right back? Do we have another caller? Okay, we're looking for that next caller to come back in, 312-738-1060. We apologize, but the commissioner, forgive me, Richard Boykin had to leave, so we had to let him go because he was in the process of moving. But I want to come back and talk to you specifically about, we was talking about civic engagement and why it's important for us to be involved. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely.
So tell me, what is civic engagement? And how can, seriously, Doris, how can people get involved? It's easy to talk about somebody. It's easy to not vote. That's all kind of stuff easy to happen. What can we do to stop believing that we can't make a difference and make a difference by being involved.
Yeah, that's so important.
Yeah.
And I'm just so glad to hear you really focusing on civic engagement, because that's the message we really need to get out to our young people.
Yeah.
Civic engagement really is determining your future.
Right,
It's
right.
determining your future as well as your day-to-day life.
Mm-hmm.
It determines, when we think about, we turn the TV on in Washington and we see all the craziness that's going on there.
Yeah.
But just think
Yeah.
about it. All of those 100 senators that are going to vote on whether or not the President of the United States will be removed from office or not, they took an oath. And every state sent 2 representatives to Washington, D.C. to represent them. And we here in Illinois will have an opportunity to vote for our 2 representatives, no matter where you live. And if you believe that you have thoughts about what you're seeing that takes place in Washington, then you need to be paying attention to who your representative is here on the local level. All politics are local. So we can control what happens in Washington by focusing on our elected officials here. But also, civic engagement determines our resources and how much we have to. That's why the census is so
Yeah,
important.
we're talking about $675 billion.
That's right. And it's going to,
$1,800 a piece.
and it's going to be distributed.
And it's going to be whether you in it or
many
not.
different places.
You got another caller. Get your caller.
Yeah.
Caller, you on the air. What's your comment or question?
Well, what I was trying to talk to when the gentleman was on the air is that I thought Harold Washington was taken too quick from us. But I was wondering about our mayor now being LGBT, a black woman. Can people work with her and have Chicago move forward?
Thank you so much
Yeah.
for calling back. I really want to thank you for that, please.
And thank you. And I can speak for Commissioner Boykin on this.
Well, please.
He absolutely supports the mayor. And I can't imagine that anyone living in the city of Chicago would have any thoughts about her failing. And therefore, we want to make sure.
I feel a passion.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't help but feel it.
You can't help but feel it.
It's out there.
Yeah, and we want to make sure that she has all of the support that she can to make things happen. Like anybody, we hold everybody accountable who runs for elected office, and she's put herself out there and said, hold me accountable.
Absolutely. And there
she-
is real change in Chicago.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Either you're in it or you're not. But there is real change going on in Chicago.
Yeah,
and if
nothing
you don't
is-
see it, then shame on you. Then you ain't out here.
That's right. Nothing is perfect, and we can't expect it to be so. But that's another way to get involved. If
Keep
you
doing the
see-
good work, Mayor. That's what we say. Keep doing the good work. Stand true to what you've been doing. Stand true to what you promised. And keep on making sure that all communities count in the city of Chicago. Go ahead, Doris.
And here's what I would say when we talk about civic engagement, and the caller is asking specifically about the governance of the city of Chicago. If you go onto the city of Chicago's website, look at the city council, look at every department that the city council is responsible for, and see where you can plug in. What is your major interest in what's going on in the city of Chicago? Look for that department, look for when those meetings are, and go to that meeting. And I think soon a lot of those meetings are going to be televised if they're not already. So you won't have to come downtown, try to pay for parking, try to take the, get bus money together. You'll be able to watch it online or on your cable television.
We almost,
Yeah, time is
almost up.
flying.
But let me ask this question, because we was talking about the census. Is it important to be active in the census?
It's incredibly important, and if I could implore one thing with people is not to be afraid. Try not to be afraid. We need, if it is worse, the worst case scenario is that you don't fill out the forms and the information doesn't get to Washington and our communities do not get the resources when they become distributed.
Yeah.
So every person has to be counted.
And they're making it so easy for you.
They really
Some
are.
places you can go online and do some stuff. Most places they'll help you do the stuff.
Yeah.
Some places they'll write it up for you. So it's so many ways to
A
be
lot
involved.
of young people are being employed
And
now.
a lot of, say that again.
A lot of young people are being employed to participate in the census
And that's
now.
what we really want to do, is give our young people an
Yeah.
opportunity to be actively engaged. Now, we're not knocking nobody, but if you really don't want to be involved in civic engagement, then don't call me, all right? But if you really want to be involved, give us a call at 773 287-5821, 773-287-5821. Give them the closing website of the campaign.
Yes, if you want to get involved in Richard Boykin's campaign, go to www.richardrboykin.com. That's www.richardrboykin.com.
So next week we will have our special guests on there. We'll have some judges, and we'll be talking about. We'll be having some judges on the show next week. And so what we'll be doing is making sure that those of you who are watching the show will get a chance to meet some of the judges on the show next week. Listen, God bless you. We've been running this thing kind of long, but it's all good.
all
we'll
good.
see you in the neighborhood. Thank you, Doris, as always.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you, young people up in there.
Thank you,
we got
Facebook
to
Live,
go.
for checking
we
it
got
out.
to go.
I think I'm over my cold as of today. Thank you so much.
Good night.
Good
God
night.
bless.